to this week's episode of Witchy Shit and Manga Lit with Rawiyah and Cartabus. This week we're talking Isekai and past lives with special guest and creator extraordinaire, Zakh. Let's get into it. Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of Witchy Shit and Manga Lit with Rawiyah and Cartabus. Today we're being joined by Zakh, who I'm super excited to have on. He is a comic creator, writer, editor, and all-around delightful rascal. Zakh, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
I was not expecting that mic coming out from nowhere, like MC style. Just like, guess what? I got a mic now.
It was real good. It was real good. It was real good. So Carta, what's up? What are you doing? What are you into? I'm gonna hand off the reins to you because I am, as always, a little bit high.
Excellent. That is what I like to hear. Today, yeah, we're gonna be doing otherworldly stuff. So we're gonna talk about past lives, and we're gonna talk about isekai and reincarnation as a trope. So that's gonna be super fun. They actually have a theme. We have a theme today, so go us for having a coherent theme. As usual, I want to start off the show with what we've been reading/watching. I will actually go first this time because I have a shorter list than normal because I've been busy. But even while being busy and having a shorter week since we just filmed on Saturday and we're filming on Tuesday now, I still managed to finish a show called Tsurune, which is that archery show I mentioned last time. It's so freaking good. Like, it's so good. Like, it's really well animated. Nice. And like, I didn't think I'd be into archery as much as I am by watching this show, but just the way they do it is so soothing. I just want to watch them shoot arrows all day. It's so nice. And then I also saw another show called Real Girl because I saw a clip of the live action movie, and it has another name it's called 3D Kanojo, which is like 3D girlfriend. But the anime is Real Girl, and it's basically about this otaku who gets a girlfriend and nobody can believe it, and he can't believe it. And like, she's really cool, and him just kind of absorbing that fact. It's very nerdy, kind of sweet, but like on a weird level where you're like, I don't know if I want them to be together. They kind of compatible, but like they just like randomly make out and they don't really get to know each other yet. And I'm like, you guys need to get to know each other a little bit before just making out all the time. I feel like you're not doing this in the right order.
That's a form of getting to know someone, you know.
I mean, that is fair. It is face to face right there.
Yeah, face to face breathing. You know what they had to eat. Like, you can tell the general health. Like, you can. I'm a really intense kisser, so
you got their temperature. You got their mother's maiden name.
No. I can get their life story out of them.
Sucking their soul out of their face.
Yes.
It's so unusual being on this level and being in this as opposed to just being a pure observer. You know, it's like I'll be, because like I've explained, I'm normally watch the podcast. I normally keep track of what you guys are up to. I don't mean that in a realize that sounds really creepy. My bad.
Stalkery way.
No, but like, you guys run a podcast. I have seen the episodes and those sorts of things, but to actually be a part of it it's like, have you ever seen that meme of like the kids sitting next to that picture of all the kids hanging out? No,
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
I'm gonna have to send it to him.
That's all right. I'll send it to you all later. That's fine. But yeah, as soon as you see it, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and it's like, I'm part of this now. Okay. So
You are, and we're
yeah.
super happy that you are.
Yeah.
Oh, far out. Sorry, you were
Um,
in the middle of talking about what you were
I was in the
up
middle of
to.
shoving tongues down
Yeah,
throats, and
that
Carter
was
was in the
a
middle of telling us
making
about.
out.
Sucking out
That
souls.
Yeah, so that was the
Yeah.
sucking out soul thing. Um, I can't remember what shit I'm on now. I probably started like 3 other comics. Yeah, I started 3 other comics as well. I have a problem. I
It's
have a
okay. It's a
problem.
beautiful one. It's a
Oh
The
my
beautiful
first sign
one.
of
god.
a problem is admitting it. It's okay.
Mm, it's
Yeah,
just
so
fine.
yeah, I think it's called not what was it? No Way. It was called No Way. It's on
Hmm.
Tapas. It's one of the free ones where like you can
Oh,
support them
sick.
on Patreon or something. Um yeah, it was really good. I'm about
Hmm.
halfway through. It's one of those because since the episodes are shorter, they have like a ton of them. So I'm on like a 160 out of like 259 or something. And that
Mm.
one was really good. And I finished up the I finished up the hard boiled love that I told you about last time. Um, it's not over. It's just I'm caught up to where they are
Hmm.
now. Um, and I'm trying to think of anything else because I think I started another one, but then I put it down and I forgot about it. Yeah.
Mm.
Nice.
Oh, no, I finished because I bought the next episode of Candy Colored Paradox and I read that one as well
Hmm.
because that one's really good.
Hmm.
But that's it for me. So that's actually a really short list this week. It may seem
Well
like a
done.
normal size, but it's actually very short. Oh wait, no, we started an isekai as well. But I was like,
Uh-huh.
I need to start an isekai, and then like he walked in, and he's like, "This looks interesting. You're gonna start this over." I was like, "Fine." So we've
Hmm.
been watching this isekai called Campfire Cooking in Another World,
With my absurd
and
skill.
yes, yeah, and it's really fun,
Yeah.
and it's basically he has an online mall he can access in the other world that he got transported to and buy stuff for like cheap. And like he sold salt for a ridiculous price or something. It's really fun. And he got like a giant wolf companion that demands meat all the time. So now we have this joke where like the dog will like stare at us and we'll be like, "Oi, Niku," because that's what Fel does all the time. Being like, "I want meat now." I'm like, "Yeah, that's the dog." Okay, now I'm done. Now I'm done. Your turn.
Zakh, what have you been absorbing?
Yes.
Oh my goodness! Are you sure you don't want to go first, Commander?
M- Mine is mine is the
I'm happy to
short
wait.
list.
I'm happy to
Zach,
Mine
wait.
hang on. Can you like move the mic a little bit away from your face because it is like blasting me every time you talk?
I'm so sorry.
just,
I have
just
no
down here.
concept of how
Perfect.
loud I actually am, and this is kind of
You
a small
like I
space.
love the enthusiasm. The energy is like top notch, but like I just my ears need you to not do
Yeah,
that,
no.
please.
Need
And
to
don't
do a
worry,
couple
if you
notches.
get really excited, I will be able to lower the levels in post
Okay.
production. I'll be able
Fix it
to
in
even
post.
out
Fix it in post.
Yeah,
the
they are
volumes.
the genius of doing things after
Mad
I bow
respect.
to them.
Mad respect.
Thank you.
Mad
So
respect.
I'm still reading Diverse Bodies, Diverse Practices, and the Future is Disabled. My fandom stuff that I've been reading or watching, there's this one American comic called Shoot Around or Shoot About. It's like this
Hmm.
coach, and that one's on webcomics, on webtoons.
I'll look it
And
up right
it's
now.
about this coach who I love it. Um I finished reading it. I think it's finished. I'm not sure if it's free or not because I was just like bing bing bing. But it has a teacher who like is taking care of these kids during the zombie apocalypse, and there's queerness
Oh.
involved.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love
there's
this. The
also
art
one
is really
called
good.
it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Okay.
And I loved it so much. And the other thing that I've been doing right now, I'm still watching Doctor Who because I still need comfort because I'm soothing my broken heart. So I'm
Mhm.
watching Peter Capaldi, who is Magician Daddy, do
Yeah.
his thing. And I'm coming, he is Magician Daddy. And then I'm coming to the end of his run with Clara. And that's been great. And this other thing that I am reading is Oshinoko. Again, still reading that one.
That's so good.
And I think I started Hard Boiled Love,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna need to give myself some more time to read. That's what I'm gonna read tonight.
Okay.
And as far as watching stuff, again, I went back to my comfort anime because, well, not my anime, it's another American cartoon. And I just want so badly for them to make good on all their promises on their production schedule, and that is Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh, far
I
out.
am on
We all love
Avatar: The Last
Avatar.
Airbenders.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
It
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
is.
I've written fan fiction for it, and not like a short 5-page fan fiction. I have over 100-page fan fiction about the group after they grow up, and I figure out a way to make Zutara work because I'm all about
Ooh.
angsty ass Zuko. I do. I
Okay,
do.
okay.
I
I'm
do.
gonna need links. I'm gonna need
Yeah.
links.
Yeah.
Okay,
Seriously.
I
I
want to read
even
this. I
Put
want to
this
read
I
in
even
this.
have
bio.
Azula coming back and starting like a resurgence war of hate and all that other stuff. Just a bunch of shit. Katara gets really angsty too.
She
I love a
should.
good angsty Katara. She bitch been through a lot. So I think that's it for me because I've had a very busy week too, and a week where I
Mhm.
had to do a lot of stuff, and my edits just came back from my editor, and I've been really working on all of that. So that's what I've been doing, definitely going for my comfort stuff. And I think the only new thing I've introduced is that dirty nasty manga that you want me to read.
It's so good though. Oh my god, it's so good. Please,
We're going to
please.
talk about it at some point. We talk about kink at the same time. It's going to be great.
Yes, it's gonna be really good. I think that's gonna be a fire episode, honestly.
Hmm.
And
Oh
if you're
goodness.
wondering what they're talking about, it's what we talked about it last episode. So once
Yeah,
that
that episode's,
comes out,
yeah.
you
All
all will
right.
know what we're talking about.
Okay. Context.
Hmm.
Cool. All
What
right.
about you, Zach?
Okay. So I mean, you talked about comfort anime, manga, manhwa. So I have a comfort manhwa that I read because I mean, working in hotels can be really stressful. So
Mm.
um, it's called The Greatest Estate Developer,
Oh, I love that
and
one.
it's
It's so
now
funny.
the reason Carter is acting like this is because that manhwa is the reason that we know each other. All right.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I want to
yeah.
hear about this.
Okay. All right. So long and short.
That was a finger
um,
crack start.
it's important. So
Oh.
we have a mutual friend, Captain Nebula, who you can find on Twitch. I don't know if they're still streaming, but they talk a lot about the manga, manhwa, all those sorts of things that they're reading. And I recommended this one because I read a chapter, and all of a sudden, I look at my clock. It's like 6 a.m. the next day. Um, so that I mean that happens a bit. That happens a bit. I'll admit, but there are very few times that you catch me in the corner of my room trying to stifle laughter while my wife is asleep. Right. So I'm in the corner just sitting here trying not to piss myself laughing because just okay. I'll break it down for you. You've got a civil engineer who dies from overwork and ends up in the book that he was reading.
So it's a
Oh,
reincarnated
wow.
isekai.
Yes, Funny though, we were talking about
Yeah.
that today. But so, and his entire thing is that he's been reincarnated into the body of the scumbag of the story. Everybody expects him to be the absolute worst. He drinks all the time and is terrible. And this guy, absolutely hardworking, but he kind of feels like he has to stay true to the character, otherwise they'll like kill him because they've just like somebody's taken over his body. They'll realize that, so they'll like kill him. So he teams up with between him and the main character, who is this absolute pretty boy named Javier Asheran. They a lot of people mistake it for
He
BL.
has blue
It's not
hair,
BL.
if that tells you
He
anything about
he
this
has
guy.
blue hair, red eyes,
He's
and
like
he's kind
the
of
peak protagonist, and he's got
yeah
like this
yeah.
this scumbag guy who has like the worst face. It's so funny though.
You say the worst face, but let's
It's the
be
best
honest,
face,
it's the
really.
best face.
Yeah.
I would recommend reading this manhwa for the faces alone.
Seriously.
Alone. The comedy in this, pure joy. Pure joy. So yeah, when I read that, if I'm not having the greatest of days or if I'm worn out, and I'll just binge that right through. I've actually been more gaming of late because the Honkai Star Rail had only just dropped recently.
I
So
have heard of that.
yeah. So the
I've also
guys
heard the
who,
protagonist is really hot. Is that true?
I mean, it's anime, so that's kind of a given. But yeah, look, he's okay looking. I think it's the gray hair and yellow eye combo that I think most people and I mean, it's like space westerny in a way. So there's some serious drip. Um, but yeah, look, I've just been sitting there playing it nonstop, and I mean, I'm thankful that the cameras at work haven't caught me yet. So, but
Is
yeah,
it like an app? What console is it on? Or
so
computer?
you can get it on pretty much all of them. So I actually played on my phone.
Okay.
It is massive though. So if you are going to do it, play it on PC. It plays a lot like Final Fantasy 14 with Lightning. If you've ever played that.
Yeah. I
I'm
don't
like,
like that
let
one.
me go.
That one was too
What's
hard.
this
That was the
called
one
again?
Honkai
It's called
Star Rail.
Honkai. Yeah, thank you.
Cool.
Yeah. So
Honkai Star. I'm gonna
it's
go to
yeah,
Steam right now.
yeah. So they've also got their own like private launcher and those sorts of things. But it's a really good time. The stories are really fascinating. Couple of worlds to visit so far. They'll probably update that more in the future. Very similar to Genshin Impact, if either of you have played that.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, no, I kind of had to stop playing Genshin because of Honkai Star Rail, but yeah. Also did I mean, I could talk about manga hauls in terms of what I've been reading. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
Duke of Death and His Maid.
Oh,
If you've ever
okay.
seen that, yep,
I have
yep.
heard of
So
that
there was
one.
an anime that dropped, I think, like last year
Mm-hmm.
about a young duke who was cursed with killing anything he touches, and the budding romance between him and his maid. Um, it's so fluffy, but there's a lot of like interesting character development and things like that as things go through. Um, it's yeah, and like even now there are still parts where they're just casually releasing things, so it's
Mm-hmm.
never not ongoing. Um, you talked about Oshinoko earlier,
Mm-hmm.
so I actually have a
Oh,
physical copy
it's a
of that.
physical copy.
Yeah. So,
Oh.
yeah. I've been waiting for this to be licensed in English for ages because, yeah, Aka Akasaka's work is incredible. If you've ever read like Kaguya-sama, um, Witch and the Beast, um,
Beast.
absolutely gorgeous. Reads a lot like a shonen battle manga, but it ends up leaning more towards seinen. About a mage and a young girl that he travels with. They're trying to find the witch that cursed her. So, um, really, really cool stuff. I got one more. It's the third volume because I've got volumes 1 and 2 at home. But Dan to Dan.
Oh, okay. I've heard of
Yeah.
that one.
So, okay. So, you've been talking about Chainsaw Man. And look, I love Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man's great. It's violent, it's bloody, it talks about some real, like, gets into, like, the deep, nitty gritty soul bits that you sort of sit there and make you go, I don't know if I don't know how to feel about a lot of the things that are going on here, you know? 'Cause, I mean, look, you can sit there and go, yeah, Chainsaw Man's a hero, but then you sort of sit there and go, is he though? Um, but yeah, what the fuck was that? Sorry.
Ghosts.
Hey, I'm staying in a property that's over like 100 years old, so I would not be surprised. Yeah, but far out. But yeah, Dan to Dan. So the guy who did Chainsaw Man actually recommends this manga.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
that's how. Yeah, so that's how good it can be. A little bit confronting in some parts, but it like
What do you
fan
mean by
service. You know.
confronting?
So in
Oh,
fan
fan
service,
servicey? Oh.
yeah. But I mean,
If that's ever
in
bothered me.
yeah, but you'll see what I'm talking about once you read the first couple of chapters. Yeah. So aliens and yokai or your
Hmm.
Japanese monsters, and like these kids going up against all of them. It's a great time. The art is insane.
Well,
Like
that's what I'm here for.
you got. Yeah, like we sit there and we talk about how cool. Like I don't know if you guys have read Solo Leveling or any of those. Dan to Dan
Yes.
blows it out of the water. Dan to Dan blows it out of the
Really?
water.
All right, that's on
Yeah.
Really?
my
Even
list
solo
then.
leveling?
Okay.
Okay.
Look, Solo Leveling is very unique in its art style,
Yes.
but you you'll understand once you read it. But this guy not only plays with how characters look, he's playing with angles. He's just sort of sitting here going, I'm just going to fuck around for like 20 pages and see what comes of it. Like as an artist, Carter, you'll probably look at this and just be like, okay, his use of like angles and just I don't know. It's so good, and each chapter does not miss. So it's very hard to
Well,
avoid.
now I have to read another
I know. I'm
series.
like, let me figure out how to put
Damn
this,
it.
what list to even put this on somewhere
It's
so
it
I can
should
read
be it
it.
should be on the Shonen Jump app. Um,
Oh,
Oh,
really?
really?
yeah. But that got me thinking. So you guys also talked about Food Wars, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
yes,
Shokugeki no Soma, yeah!
yes, Sukugeki no
I want
Soma.
that
Yeah, okay. Those two just launched a new manga.
shit!
Really?
What?
It's called Tenmaku Cinema.
Oh,
Wait.
that's on the
Oh,
app
this is on
too.
my list.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So that's
yeah.
by the guys
So
who did the Shogeki no Soma.
yeah,
Okay, cool. Awesome.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
actually surprised that you guys haven't seen more of Shun's artwork because he used to be a H artist before he got into.
I'm
Well,
on chapter 2 of that.
How
nice.
are you
Forgot I
finding
was
it?
reading that one. I'm enjoying it. I totally
I,
forgot I was reading it.
I read the first chapter and I'm just like, holy shit, I'm so invested. But and so a lot of been reading like a lot of people have been saying, oh, this will fill the space of Act Age, which unfortunately finished due to the writer being a colossal jerk. But yeah, we won't get into that. But yeah, hopefully it fills the space, because I'm already invested in the idea
Mm-hmm.
of like it's almost like the battle is against time rather than like being against anybody, which I think would make
Mm.
for some very interesting developments.
Yeah.
So that's
Awesome.
me.
Cool.
Thank you for
So,
sharing that list with us.
really quick, just to touch back on the greatest estate developer. What had happened was, on a thread that Jade posted about a different manhwa and talking about tropes and stuff like that within the line comics things, Zakh suggested this one because of the faces, and you know how I am as a person, so I immediately
Yep.
went to go read it, and then left an entire thread of comments about my feelings about the manga as I was reading it. And apparently it was extremely amusing. I was worried about spamming because but like, if I recommend a manhwa, that's what I want to be spammed with your opinion about that. So I'm like, I might as well just do the thing that I want to somebody else. And at the end of my, like, I want to say it was like 100 comment thread about this manhwa.
It felt like it, and I don't
It,
mean that in a bad way by any means. Like
I was
Carter
like,
came in with some serious feelings.
I was like, so, want to be friends?
That's beautiful.
Because again, of who I am as a person, I'm just like, hey,
So,
we're friends now. Deal with it.
yeah, and
I love it.
it also should be worth noting that Carter mentioned that they had a friend from Australia who convinced them to get on another app.
Viz. He's the reason for Viz. Yes.
Oh, you're the reason I'm on
Yes.
this.
Yes.
You're the
Oh,
reason.
oh yes, oh yes. I am
You're the
not fucking
reason.
sorry. Hey,
He's an enabler. It's bad. Almost as bad
I
as
was
me.
just trying to find Dan to Dan, and I'm like, where is it? I can't
is it
find
not on there?
it. Maybe because I'm looking at the Viz app. Maybe I need to go on Shonen itself.
Yeah, go
Shonen
on
Jump.
Shonen Jump instead. But like,
Dan to Dan.
yeah, it's a really good comic though. It's on
I'll find it.
Webtoons, The Greatest Estate Developer. It's on Webtoons. It's up to episode
Okay.
78 for free. So
Yeah.
Awesome.
yeah. And then he also recommended Jungle Juice, which is another good one. That's up to
Mhm.
almost 100 for free. And they're actually releasing that in physical. Like they're actually publishing that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 That's been on hiatus for like some time though. I haven't seen an update in like over a
They
year.
are prepping it. That's why they went on hiatus specifically so they can prep it, because line comics have a very different formatting than physical
Yeah.
media. So it takes them a while to actually reformat it so that it's going to fit the pages correctly. So a lot of times if they're being published, you'll see long hiatuses in between the first chapter and the second chapter or so on, because they're publishing in between and want to make sure that the publishing schedule isn't interrupted by creating the new episodes, essentially.
So I have a quick question before we continue on further. So given that you've read Jungle Juice, Carter, between Jungle Juice and Kakegurui, who's hotter?
Oh God, that's hard. Why did you ask me that? They're all hot. It's very confusing. Oh my God. No,
Commander,
okay, so
Commander, you need to read Jungle Juice. Just the characters are
they are
so
all,
where do I read
again,
it on?
Webtoons. It's Webtoons as well.
Webtoons. Okay.
Yeah, that one.
I'm going to put it in right now.
I'm going out of Elaseed. Elaseed is where they're the hottest.
Hey, look, there is no dancer scene. That's its own beast, okay? That's its own beast. They're its own kind of pretty, all right? You sort of sit there, and that's like staring at the sun, all right?
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God.
is like cut glass pretty, whereas Jungle Juice, right, is, I don't know, there's just...
I
They
think the color work in Jungle Juice is really good.
It's beautiful.
Mhm.
I like the
Oh,
unhingedness of the Kakegurui cast though, because
Okay.
they're so crazy. They're so crazy.
Okay. Now I understand. Because I mean, I'd looked at Kakegurui, and I've sat there and gone. I mean, I've read Gamblefish,
I mean,
and
okay,
Kaigi.
no, it is a different beast. It's a different
Okay.
animal. So
Okay.
unless
Okay.
you've seen Kakegurui, you can't make
All right. All
a
right.
proper difference. But yeah, no, it's they're hot in a very different way. Like Jungle Juice,
Okay.
they're just very pretty and hot. And like so one of the teachers, Explosion Daddy, he yeah, he has a beard. He's built like a brick house. Wonderful, absolutely fantastic.
It's
Um,
like seeing those pictures of hot Santa.
yeah, but like even the bad guys are hot. So like and like they have like
I just got a
freaking
visual.
size for arms and stuff. No, it's a whole
Hey, look,
thing.
Scorpion Girl, best girl. Scorpion Girl, best girl.
Mm,
Are we talking about Scorpion Girl from She-Ra or Scorpion Girl
no,
from?
from Jungle Juice. Because
Okay,
Jungle
all
Juice.
right,
basically the
cool.
There's a
premise
Scorpion
of
Girl.
it is there's a bug spray that like combines their DNA with that of a nearby bug. So
Mm-hmm.
there are like the main character got combined with a dragonfly, so he has dragonfly wings, that kind of thing. So that's kind of how we're looking at it, and all of them you can kind of see for some of them what their bug
Mm-hmm.
is, but for some of them it's not as clear, and it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
just work for bugs. Some of them are um, other kind of arthropods like spiders and wasps and like scorpions and centipedes and stuff like that. So like they have the whole etymological cast is happening there, but
It's
the way
basically
that
Bug
the
Hero Academia.
yeah,
All right.
it's very My Hero-ish. So it's definitely got that kind of school vibe with the learning to be heroes types of things. So it's got that energy. It's really fun. The art's good.
Oh my God,
But
that
it
just reminded me.
hmm.
Go ahead. No, there
Oh
is
no,
something else now. Yeah,
I
go
was
ahead.
just gonna say that Elicide is still my like
Mm.
top webtoon that I recommend to literally everyone because there isn't any other comics where you can see a cat fucking destroy a man. And I personally love that.
Oh, that's
It,
beautiful.
no, it's beautiful is an understatement, Commander.
It's gorgeous.
100%. 100%.
But you were going to say about school energy?
Oh yeah, no, School Energy, that reminded me. I'm watching another one that I completely forgot about that I need to I'm looking up the name for it right now. I'll have it at some point. But it's about this alien that comes and infiltrates the school, and he has a big yellow smiley face, and their goal is to like
Assassination
kill him.
Classroom.
What is it called? Assassination Classroom, you said?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just started watching that too.
Oh, you are going to have such a fucking good time.
I need to watch that too. It's on my list. It's on my list of 800
Yeah.
billion
And
things I
for
need to
those who are
see.
listening in, it's on Crunchyroll.
Yeah,
Okay.
that one's actually finished up.
Yeah.
So and he's got a new one out called The Elusive Samurai.
Mm.
Oh,
You can
okay.
find that on Jump as well.
Awesome.
So we
Sorry.
can maybe find it on Jump. So I'm going to caveat that because since we are in
Yeah.
different countries, we may not actually have access to these same stories, unfortunately.
Sorry.
Mm.
So that may be why you can't find Dan on there because if it's not
Yeah, because I'm
licensed in the
like, I
US
know how to
yet,
spell Dan.
it may
I know how to spell it.
Nad to Nad.
Dan. Yeah. I'm going to look it up and see if there's like a different
I feel
series
like that should be
licensed
played with
out,
a
but
banjo
No,
in the
I
background.
even went to the wiki page about it. It is not on there right now. That makes me very sad. But that's all right. I'll find it somehow. All right. So wait, what are we talking about this week? We're
We're
talking
talking
about
about past lives.
past lives.
Oh.
Yeah, past lives.
Half an hour in.
Yeah.
I know,
This
it's
is
fine.
this is
It's
this
fine.
is
This
why
is
our podcasts are 2 hours long, my friend.
No.
This
This
yes.
is not a
is
complaint. I'm having an absolute blast.
So I
okay.
know that I've had past lives, but
Yeah, I have
Jesus.
some distinct ones that I remember as well.
Yeah, I can't remember all of mine. I'll get flashes, but
Mhm.
whenever anybody tries to lead me on a past life journey, I end up just laughing. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I get disrespectful.
No, like, but that's fair. Like you don't have to. I feel like even though you're on a journey, that doesn't mean you have to like the things you're seeing. You can be like, that was some shitty stuff happening.
Look, I'm trying to get ejected from the warp core at this point.
Yeah.
I'm like, I do not want to repeat the cycle. I remember when I was a child, I was young, I didn't even know what I was talking about because this theory hadn't been introduced to me. I grew up very like Roman Catholic in the South. So that was like you died and you go to heaven or you go to hell or purgatory depending on where you're at. But like I remember I turned to my mother and I was like, I'm tired, and she's looking at me like, bitch, you 7. What you what, what you tired about? And I'm like, I'm tired of this. And I just generally point to everything. I'm like, I don't want to come back here. I don't want to come back here. And I did not know what I was talking about, but I was at that age where I still belong to Lilith. So you're at that age where you still got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You're
Mhm.
just getting all solid. So I probably was aware of that. This was on some fuck shit and I didn't want to come back. I was like, I'm done here. But I feel like I sit there up above and I'm like, I got so much love to pour out in the world. And then I take a leap and I'm back here and I'm doing shit again. And then I forget my soul contracts. And then I'm like, why does everything suck? And so I'm like, I release all soul attachments like this lifetime. I'm like, I release all soul attachments. If I have to come back, I ain't coming back like this. May I be a fluffy house cat that's well loved and well protected and like just gently sleeping. Nah, I don't want to be a house cat. I want to be a troublemaker.
House cats can be troublemakers, to be honest, though.
100%.
That's
100%.
true. You're
You,
right.
you could be the fuck around and find out house cat. Oops,
The
I
unhinged
burnt
house
down the
cat.
burnt down the
My
thing by
bad.
knocking that candle over.
That sent a candle.
Shouldn't have left the
I'm
candle
totally
out.
imagining. Oh, far out. But no, Kate and Break house cat.
Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. That's a character from Ellisy, the one who like can
Yeah,
use lightning to destroy people, and he's a cat. Anyway, that would be
yeah,
great.
he's a cat,
Yeah,
and he just whenever he's not like absolutely wrecking shit, he's just chilling out, opening cans for his cat
his other
subordinates.
cats. Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
It's a
it's
yes,
because
beautiful way to be.
he's a human stuck in a cat's body. That's why.
Hmm.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Carter, you have distinct
Yes, I
memories?
have very distinct memories, and I have distinct memories of multiple lifetimes, and
Hmm.
I know people that I knew then now that remember me
Mm.
then,
Hmm.
which is pretty insane. So, um I guess I'll start with, and I've also been non-human before. I know that for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Hmm.
uh, yeah. So the three distinct ones that I remember is I know that I did spend time as a Greek slave to Romans
Hmm.
because I instinctively hated Romans forever. I have always hated Rome and Romans. Just like hated them. Like learning about it in school, I'm like, this is bullshit.
Hmm.
these guys are all assholes. And everybody's like, why are you so vehement about this? And I'm like, you don't even know. And like I never knew why until like when during one of my journeys I was like, oh, okay,
Mhm.
that makes sense now. And also when I was in college, right when I moved to San Francisco, I actually went to one of those like psychic fair lady peoples who was like, oh, I'm a
Mhm.
psychic, I'll give you a reading. And she gave me a reading, and at the time I thought it was the most bullshit thing I'd ever heard. And like now that I'm looking back, I'm like, that was totally worth the money I spent on her. I should have given her more money, actually. It's just my stupid, like, teenage brain couldn't figure out what was happening. Because
Mhm.
she told me that basically I had a relationship from Roman times that I had to work out now. And I was like, yeah,
Oh.
yeah. So you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're
Yes.
talking about.
And as she started like linking it together, saying, so um basically she was hinting to the fact that my ex was a Roman soldier in a past life.
He looks like he could be one.
Right? And
Holy shit.
I
yeah.
should have brought
So
popcorn.
like she was like, you have to resolve the relationship from then in this life or you will keep reliving it. And I was like, how is that even a thing? And like, cause I was like, this lady's crazy, I have a good relationship, this is fine. Um, no, she was fucking right. Yo, she was
Mm.
right. And then so the other past life that was human that I remember, I was this lady in the 20s, from like an affluent Jewish family in like the Northeast somewhere. My friend who said they knew me basically then, um at the time they were a younger man, and we had been like best childhood friends or something, but I was older at the time, and I'm still much older than this other person. I'm like I want to say like 6 or 7 years older than them. But yeah, so they were like, yeah, do you remember the apple tree? And I was like, apple tree. And I started like really thinking back, and like I started remembering all of these items. And they told me, they're like, I am to this day scared of bridges. And I'm like, scared of bridges? Why? And they're like, because you died on a bridge and I remember it. And I started remembering facts too. And I'm like, oh, bitch, I didn't just die on a bridge. I got into a fight with a man in a car and he drove the car off the bridge.
Oh, you
And
got Vanilla Skied?
so for me, that was more of a relationship trauma memory. So I have no problem with bridges. But for my friend, they're like, oh my God, I can't do bridges because you died on one. And I'm like, oh, oops. Sorry
Mm.
about that. Um, I hope that you will not be afraid of bridges for much longer. I'm not afraid of bridges. They're just like, I can't be around bridges. And it's because of you. I'm like, oh my God. So, but I think that that was another redux of being
Mhm.
stuck in a loop
Yeah.
of that relationship. And
Yeah.
I got out in this life. So, ha.
Congratulations, my friend.
Ha.
Congratulations.
And then the other past life that I distinctly remember is being on another planet. So this is not even terrestrial. Um,
Mhm.
it was so violet. Like everything on the planet was purple and violet and like magenta. And I
Mm.
was some kind of like blobby creature, like almost like a jellyfish, but for the air.
Mhm.
I could fly with my mind.
Mhm.
And it's so frustrating because I remember the actual mechanism for flying in my head from
Oh, it
being
doesn't apply
that
here.
previous creature, but this body can't do it. So, like
Mhm.
in dreams, I will fly sometimes. Like everybody has flying dreams, right? Where you're just flying. But because I know the mechanism for actually flying, every time I realize I'm flying, I fall because the mechanism won't work with this body.
Mhm.
So, like, me trying to fly doesn't physically function correctly because I'm a human and humans can't do that.
Mhm.
But I
Um,
remember, like, you talking about being a kid and like doing things. I remember thinking I could breathe underwater. As a kid, and my mom
Oh.
was like, "You can't. You need to use this snorkel or I'm not letting you
Mhm.
into the pool." And I'm like, "I can do it." Yeah. So I had to use a snorkel so that I wouldn't die because obviously, humans can't breathe underwater. But
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
was convinced, I was absolutely convinced that I could do that. So that may also, be a holdover.
I think I think as kids we have this knowing, like I know that I wasn't able to hold on to this knowing as I got older,
Mhm.
but there was something in me that made me say I didn't want to come back. But one of the things that helped me know for sure that there was reincarnation possible is that I knew things before I was told. Like all
Mm,
of my education, I never actually studied
yeah,
because all of it was like, you know this. Oh, this is just you're just being reminded of this. Like school, I coasted through school, because
yeah.
like I had already received that information from somewhere and I didn't need to ingrain it because it was already in there. There's one past life dream regression waking dream whatever
Mhm.
I did have, and it was, and I think it deals to a theme that I do deal with right now in my life, which is escapism. Where it was like the 70s or something, and I was in San Francisco and I overdosed. Like I could
Oh.
remember the party.
Mhm.
I could remember, and I think I had this, I don't know if you were there when I had the regression, but I think it was definitely while I knew you, Carta,
Mhm.
that I had the whole regression thing. And it was like I could feel everything, I could see everything. I remember walking down the hall. I remember being partially in and out of my body. And yeah, it was fairly intense to have. But I think what I got from that dream is like, don't like dream or past life thing that keeps following me is like, don't stop running away. Stop running away. Like, I feel like
Mm.
that's my thing of dealing with escapism and not running away and
Yeah.
confronting, because I'm very much the type of person that's like, or I was the type of person where it's like, oh, you want this to happen? Okay, let me roll over and make that happen. And the universe has been giving me several opportunities to not engage in that shit uh, anymore. And I'm like, thanks, universe, for the learning.
I think,
But yeah.
like, that makes a really good point because I think part of my not, like, lack of, uh, caring, but my level of not give a fuck that I carry in my general being, I have kind of always had that.
Hmm.
Even when I was a kid, like, I was super hyper because of the ADHD, and I was super into things, but at the same time, like, as I grew up, I started just like, there wasn't like you said, there wasn't a whole lot of surprises in terms of, like, learning stuff. It was more
Yeah.
it got more difficult in high school just because I wasn't interested in being there.
Yeah, it was
So,
boring.
you know,
mm,
paying attention was a problem, but I also, like, I have a feeling there's another life that I have. Like, I haven't done a regression in a while, but I have a feeling there's another life that I had that had to have been during a plague time of some kind, because I've always like
Mm.
also hated the Middle Ages. Like, hated them.
As a Virgo, I
Hated.
object to the entire Middle Ages,
Yeah,
at
like
least
they
as it
should
was
not have
done in
happened.
Europe. Like that was just
Like,
not clean enough
fuck
at
them
all.
all. No, don't
Wash
fuck
your
them. They're
goddamn
dirty.
hands.
They're so
Yeah.
dirty. So dirty. What about
Yeah,
you,
like,
Zach? Anything
Look,
on your end about like past lives or memories
or do you have
or
questions?
I mean, so my my thing has always been like, um, you know how like we're only coming up with scientific terms for stuff that folks who practitioners like yourselves already have terms for and things like that, right? So um, those, as you were talking about, bite-sized knowledge pieces that you were like, how did I know that kind of thing? Um, I suppose could intrusive thoughts constitute as the will of a past life trying to project itself through?
Hmm.
that is so interesting.
I had never
Oh my
thought of
God.
it like that.
I haven't either. I get a lot of intrusive thoughts.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God.
I thought it was just because I was neurospicy, though.
Me too.
So
I love
it was just yeah.
neurospicy. I just
Neuropicante.
Yeah, picante and flame. Yes.
But it begs the question, like a lot of the things that we like, we can sit there and we can call ourselves neurotypical and those sorts of things. What if the wiring is the bright byproduct of us, or like us getting to this point,
Well,
you
I
know?
mean, like, in some ways, I think maybe because, like I mentioned before, like, I have very strong likes and dislikes that are not from anything other than perhaps memories, like we were talking about, or like having a preconception of how something's going to function or work, even if I've never encountered it before, because of the past memories, and being okay with certain things and not okay with other things in that same way. But I feel like intrusive thoughts are more spontaneous, so I'm not sure if that's something that could be like an ingrained spirit imprint so much
Because the
as,
reason I
yeah.
ask, because I know that spirits and all that sort of stuff, that's its own category, that's its own kettle of fish, right? So what if, like, because a lot of the time we don't know where intrusive thoughts come from,
Mhm.
um and like you could also probably put nightmares under that category too, because like, yes, we have like dream interpretations and those sorts of things, but if you're dreaming about a thing that is, I guess, beyond your current realm of comprehension, if that makes sense.
Well,
Mhm.
we've talked about this before, and you can definitely journey to other dimensions in your dreams. You can journey
Yeah.
to other people, you can journey to other timelines, you can journey all over the place. And a lot of
Mhm.
the stories that we come up with are probably from other dimensions and the way that we dream about them. So it would make sense if you could also do that with a past life,
Mhm.
Right,
I think.
right, okay. Because yeah, no, that was something that got me thinking about. Because like you sit there, you think about, I don't know, one of the times that comes to mind is was in Mexico City, and we were on a tour just outside the Blue House, Frida Kahlo's house.
Mhm.
Um, and this gentleman was taking us on a tour. It's a free tour, but obviously, like, you got to make sure that you tip afterwards because it is very, very informative. And he actually said that uh, Frida Kahlo's house was actually set in the original um, it was supposed to be the original heart of Mexico City, and Mexico City had a traditional name, and he asked everybody what was it called. Um, no idea why, but I seem to remember for some reason Tenochtitlan, which is the actual name for and like my wife looks at me and goes, "Why do you know that?" And it's like I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's an example of past life or whether I've just managed to store that in some recess of my brain. But and then the other thing is a lot of people would say I have a very familiar looking face, like they might have
Mm-hmm.
seen me before, somewhere before, and you seem very familiar to me. And I was like, I've never seen you before in my life. Like I've just so I always had like moments where I've never been sure of whether or not it's a past life thing or like y'all. I've actually been raised like I got raised by Bible nerds. So the Christian
Mm-hmm.
Brethren, if you want it, they're all like yeah. So they have like their own separate denomination, but they're like um this is the traditional pronunciation of this thing, and that's how it should be translated in the Bible, and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, but I've never really delved into practicing or the craft, as it were, because sorry, I never really wasn't really sure what to how you guys referred to uh, the witchy shit.
The witchy
The
shit,
witchy
yeah.
shit.
The witchy shit's totally fine.
It's
Okay.
totally what.
Like we're
Totally.
Yeah.
we're we're not fancy over here. Is fine.
No,
No,
I
we're not.
know, I know, but look, I've had experiences where I've asked people like, "Are you a witch?" and it was not well received,
Yeah, for some people
for
it can
obvious
be a
reasons.
derogatory
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
word.
and
Um
obviously it's like it depends on how you mean it. I obviously it was more inquiry, like I was making an inquiry as opposed to like I'm going to chuck you at the bottom of the lake. Um,
I mean, I would hope the second one wasn't even crossing your
no, but
mind. I'm
I'm
gonna
not. I
chuck
am
you in
not.
the bottom of a
I.
lake. What is wrong with
God,
you?
that sounds. Do you want that alphabetically or chronologically? Um. So no, but like in the sense of like it wasn't. It was only as a question. So I realized that it sort of allowed me to set the parameter of like, okay, maybe you probably shouldn't use that one. So that's why I usually tend to say practitioner rather than.
mhm.
Hmm.
So yeah, but no, I don't know. There's so much that you could probably draw on if you have access, and I don't know if I am
Oh
so
my god.
spiritually inclined. You're right.
Yeah, I just thought about could you imagine having some everywhere, everything everywhere all at once shit within your own timeline as
Oh
a
fuck's
soul?
sake!
Like if you could just like call upon a
That would
certain
be
skill, like
so
was I
cool.
ever a piano player? Was I ever a painter? Was I ever a fighter? Was I ever this? You could just be like, I had that skill, download it. Oh,
Download,
I make no
yeah.
food. Like like if
You're
we
fi-
had that.
you're forgetting a key point there. You have
Yeah.
to do some crazy shit to download it.
I mean, yeah. Like, what if you had to like give up an entire block of memories? Actually, that'd be fine.
Okay, you're on some Full Metal Alchemist shit right now.
I am not about to stick a firework up my ass just so that I can download how to cook. All right, that's not my that's not my speed. That's not my speed.
God, I feel like I should have access to it because it's mine, damn it. Um, it's
Well,
mine.
I feel like at the same time that's the same thing with the whole being able to fly while sleeping. Like even
Yeah,
if you download the skills, this body may not be able to do X, Y, and Z because of like I probably downloaded the flying skill and my ass can't do it.
Mhm.
Hey, if they can make Rakukuni possible, then it's not infeasible for you to fly.
If they can make what?
Rakukuni.
Rakakuni.
What are you guys talking about? Oh my
Have you
god.
not seen Everything Everywhere All at Once?
No, not yet. It's
Oh
on my
my
list.
god.
Okay,
I'm
I'm
gonna give you
sorry.
my voodoo password so
No,
y'all can
I
watch it
have
over
a
there.
like I think it's on
I'm
Amazon or
giving you
something.
mine so you don't have to buy it. But if you want to buy it, then fine.
Money, they deserve
Okay.
it.
They do deserve it. They really, really do. Yes, watch that movie. It is amazing. Like, not
Incredible.
just because of the mother-daughter, like, parent aspect of it, but the themes of perfection and being worn out, and but just how they see the universe, how it approaches universe and
Mhm.
nihilism
I remember
is
I was gonna
And
watch it
absurdism.
because
amazing.
you told me to watch it, but then like you also told me to watch John Wick. So I immediately went down that rabbit hole instead.
I ended up watching the last one the other day too.
Yeah.
I haven't
Yeah,
seen the
but we
last
won't.
one yet.
Okay, no spoilers then. We won't
I'm
talk
too
about it.
immunocompromised to go to the theater, so I have to wait for
Hmm.
everything to come out
Oh no, I'm
on
sorry.
streaming. It's just how I live my life.
I know, but
I live my life.
it's the waiting for stuff and being part of the conversation. That's the
Hmm.
Yeah.
part that sucks.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
but we can wait.
we won't talk about it.
We know you'll want to talk about it once you see it. So
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Hmm.
I love the character John Wick because he's a Virgo. I love my fellow Virgos. I love how he gets dressed to go like kick some ass and gets dressed nicely.
So I
Like
didn't even know
just
he was a Virgo because I don't look up people's signs like that. I should. I don't even know signs, honestly. Like if I'm looking at people's birthdays, because we were talking about the Sailor Scouts last time, and I was like,
mhm,
I'm gonna look up Jupiter because I thought that I was like on some shit when I was in high school, and she
mhm.
was born in December, so I'm like, we aren't the
Oh,
same at
Jupiter's a
all.
cap?
Yeah, December 5th, or that's her birthday.
Oh, I don't think that's a cap. Is that
I
Sagittarius?
think it is. Let me
That might
see.
be Sag.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Sag, I think. Yeah, no, Mercury's a Virgo. I found that out early. I was like, Mercury, my biatch. Yes, work. Um,
Oh, good. I
so
found a
yeah,
list of all the Sailor Scout zodiac signs. Let me take a look here
that's great.
because this is important. Yeah, Sailor Mercury accurately represents Virgo.
Hmm.
Venus is Libra. Mars is Aries. Makes sense.
Yeah, they're all in their planets.
Jupiter doesn't quite match Sagittarius, so she is Sagittarius. That was a good
Hmm.
call. Sailor Saturn encapsulates Capricorn's dedication, so she is a Cap. Uranus
Mm,
is Aquarius. Neptune is Pisces, which that
makes
makes
sense.
sense. Pluto is Scorpio.
Hmm. Yep.
Tuxedo Mask is a Leo, which makes sense because he's a dramatic bitch. Like he
Oh,
just
and it's
shows up
all
with the
about
rose, like,
him.
just
And
take
it's
my
But you didn't
rose.
do
always
Yeah,
anything.
yeah, and he
all about
doesn't do
him being
anything,
kidnapped.
but takes all of the
No,
takes
he
all of the
does do
credit.
something. He gets
He
kidnapped.
gets kidnapped a lot. Yes. But again, that's taking all of the attention.
That is taking all the attention.
And apparently Sailor Moon and Chibi Moon are both Cancer, which makes sense why they whine all the
Makes a
time.
lot of
Oh my
sense.
god.
Oh,
That okay. Yeah, those all make sense. So nobody is my sign. So that
Rude.
is a
Our sign.
disappointment to me. Unless one of the outers is, which
yeah,
maybe one of the Sailor Stars, which
might
I
be.
would
Yeah,
accept, but I they only had the inner scouts there.
It
yeah.
feels so
The
left
inner
out.
Cinchi.
I do, but then again, like I feel like Taurus is neglected because we're put into a box of just wanting comfort, and we're honestly too lazy to fight to get any more representation, so it's fine.
That would make like the ultimate scout, right? So no, hear me out. So if you were going to make like a Taurian sailor scout, yeah, so they are super comf, like they're just chilling or whatever, but it's like Sloth from Full Metal Alchemist, right? So even though he's like buff and whatever, and he's super lazy because everything's
Oh,
so troublesome.
Luna's a Taurus.
Luna.
Okay. That I'll
Okay.
accept because she's done with everything all the time. She just shows up like, bitch, do your job. I'm trying to take a nap. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's the
That,
energy I could get behind.
yeah. Okay. That makes sense. So she is the only Taurus. But yes. How did we get here?
Any last thoughts on I let control of the steering go. That's what happened. I let control of the steering go.
This is,
Um,
it's
because
fine. We're having
No,
fun.
let it
we are
derail.
having
Let it
fun.
derail. This is its
It
own
went off
kind of
the
magic,
tracks.
you know.
It
It's its
is.
own
That
kind of
is very
magic.
true.
Yeah, pure
So
joy.
So
yes.
what's like I believe in past lives. I believe we have more access to them as kids. Um, I believe that it's easy for us to say that we don't. Like that we didn't live before because life is hard.
Mm-hmm.
But I refuse to believe um that there is just like a heaven and a hell. For me, there's like
Mm.
for me and my own spiritual understanding of the world, like there's a place. There's one place. Like and we go there and we can get whatever we need to get and we can come back if we want or need to come back. Wherever that point intersects with in space time. So I think we can, which moves into Isekai because it's like, oh, you can go
Mm-hmm.
backwards, which we'll talk about.
Yeah.
But what I really, really want to express about this, if my high brain would let me, is that I was like one place, da 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 da. I don't necessarily believe in heaven or hell. One thing that I am concerned about is not so much rebirth. I'm not concerned about rebirth, aside from if I pop up again after I go to sleep like that, I'm gonna be pissed because I'm gonna be like, God damn it, not again. But what I am worried about, more than coming back, is what if the afterlife is just high school all over again?
Yeah.
Because life feels like high school. They tell you, oh,
It
you get out of
does.
elementary school, it's going to be better. And then you get to high school and you're like, oh, high school is going to be like this, but it's not. And you fighting for your fucking life. And then they're like, it's going to get better when you go to college. And college is just like high school. And then like, oh, it'll be better once you're an adult and you go to work. But then work is just like high school. And I can't do high school again, y'all. I can't
I go,
do high school again.
no more,
No
please.
more.
I, I'm I'm so tired.
So fucking tired. I'm so tired. I just need a fainting couch. I'm so tired, you guys. I'm tired and Victorian, you
Oh,
guys.
I'm
Like,
tired and Victorian.
I need to go. I need to go to my great aunt's over at the beaches so I can
Yes,
get some air. This is too much for me.
oh, the
the
vapors. The
vapor.
fucking
The
Oh,
vapors.
yeah, we'll go full Savannah on you. Oh no, I've got the vapors.
Oh,
Just
the
totally
vapors. I
done.
have the vapors.
Totally done.
So that's my
It's so
parting thoughts.
gentle. Yeah, I think for me, my parting thoughts about past lives is that you can essentially fix mistakes now that you made a long, long
Mm.
time ago. And that
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you need to, because otherwise they're going to follow you around forever like a bad
Mm-hmm.
penny. Get rid of them.
Oh, fucking soul attachments. Soul attachments and soul contracts. Like, fuck that
Ugh.
noise. Whoever came up, and it's like, I can't even be mad at it because it's like, it's shit we agreed to. Like, we agreed to when the starter package, when we were fresh cars coming out the factory, it was like,
It was like,
what, like,
I will sign out this loan. No, don't. You're an infant. You don't know what you're doing.
you don't know what you're doing. You
It's
don't
like
know
it's
what you're
like
doing. But when,
it's like student debt for the soul.
that's what it is. That's
Oh,
what
that
it is.
hurts.
That's what it is.
That
And it's like,
hurts.
and it's also like, you can't fail this test in the way
Mhm.
that, like, not that you can't fail it because there's no way to fail it. No, you can fail it, but you can't fail it because they're going to keep giving it to you until you pass.
Yep. Yep.
Right.
I hate it. Some part of me loves it because I keep coming back here, but I hate it.
You're like, well, I think that's the part of you that's like, I really need to finish this. I have to finish it now.
Hmm.
Kind of like you get completionist with books and stuff, don't you? Where like you'll start
I
something
do.
and be like, ugh, I hate this, but I have
I
to finish
do.
it.
I do. But I just kept attributing that for being a masochist. Like, that's how I watched all of Star Trek Enterprise. I had to
That
phone a
is the
friend a few
worst
weeks
harder
ago.
daddy I have ever come across.
I had to
Uh,
phone a friend a few weeks ago because I was so depressed. I'm like, I'm so depressed. I'm gonna start watching like Star Trek Enterprise again. And he was like, no, sugar, don't.
don't do that to yourself.
Don't hurt yourself any more than you already are. What about you, Zach? Any other like final or closing thoughts on past lives?
I would probably say, if any of the, I mean, I'm not one to say one way or t'other whether or not it exists or whether or not it doesn't. Um, and I'm not saying that, like, I'm sort of agnostic about the whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm being completely honest. But I do believe that it is not impossible to draw knowledge from some other resource recess of your mind. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there has to be some other reason why we have like so much gray matter in our brain.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So it's
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So it has to come from somewhere. It's not just, oh, I just had this thought. It's got to come from somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Where it originates.
Exactly.
Whew. And it's a circle, which is what pisses me off.
You're stuck in that
You're
Ouroboros
so mad
hard.
about being here still.
Yeah, I don't want to die, and I'm so annoyed. I'm so annoyed.
To be fair, these flesh prisons could stand to be better.
Yeah, I
Oh
mean,
God. Ugh.
we are working with
Ugh.
what we have.
We are working
Exactly.
with what we have, and that is part of the lesson. I know
Yes.
this. I say angrily.
So long as we acknowledge it.
Yeah. Oh my
So,
goodness.
isekais.
So isekai. So
Isekai.
isekai itself means another world. So generally any story that is involving going to another world is considered an isekai. Some isekai have a reincarnation element to it, but not all of them do, and not all reincarnation stories are isekai. Like Oshinoko is not an isekai. It is
Mm-hmm.
just a reincarnation story because they are being reincarnated into new bodies within the same universe and timeline.
Mm-hmm.
But some versions of isekai as examples are going to be the going physically into a portal or a book or a video game and being stuck there. um, that is a common one. Another common one is being truck-cooned, and truck-cooned means you get hit by a truck and die, and you wake up in another world, typically a book or video game that you had
Mm-hmm.
been reading or watching. That is an
Mm-hmm.
isekai because it is in another world. And then the third one, most common one, is a video game. So people just get stuck in a video game, even if they don't die or they're not physically there. The most common one of those is Sword Art Online. That one kind of started the new trope. But some of the things I wanted to talk about with Isekai was Isekai used to be more of a shoujo genre. So, as an example, the second anime that I ever watched after Sailor Moon was an isekai. It's Fushi Yugi. And this is girl gets transported into another universe. This one we watched after that was Escaflowne. Isekai, girl gets transported into another universe. And both of those were firmly in the shoujo space. It was about a girl getting pushed into another world and having to figure out what to do as the chosen one, or like solve an issue and help out with the world there. But most of the modern isekai are more in the shonen or seinen space. So SAO, all of these, like I'm stuck in another world with my smartphone, that kind of stuff is definitely you laugh.
That's
I've
such a,
seen that one.
I can't believe it's as popular as it is. Okay,
It is
it makes
objectively bad.
like,
But it's
why
fun.
do people keep
It's
reading it?
fun because
Okay.
they like, so it's a lot of self-insert type of things where they're like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, I wish that I could also end up in another world and have 18 hot chicks try to bone me constantly." So
Mm-hmm.
it's that is a very, very common trope in a lot of the isekai. Like I feel like how not is it bad to pick up girls in a dungeon? That one's an isekai, right?
No, it's
No, it's not.
fantasy.
Oh, okay, it's
It's
pure fantasy.
fantasy.
Okay,
So
I haven't seen that one.
Danmachi is more fantasy. So it actually feels like it draws a lot more on Korean manhwa. But Danmachi, which is like because you know how like the names are really stupidly long in Japanese, they actually
Yeah,
shorten it. It's the same as Konosuba. Um,
Konosuba.
You've not seen Okay. All right. So, no. You got me started. So, Konosuba, uh, Konosuba rashi was shukufuku something. Anyway, it
What does it
translates to
translate
God.
to?
It translates to God's blessing on this wonderful world, which
Oh.
it's an isekai, but
Mhm.
it flips a lot of the tropes that isekais have. So a lot of tropes in isekai. It should be noted very quickly that isekai is more a subgenre than an actual genre, but it's only become like genre because of SAO. But that's anyway. Um, yeah, a lot of the tropes. Guy gets teleported to another world, is given some sort of crazy overpowered skill, and has to go and defeat the Demon King. Konosuba has a guy die in pathetic and embarrassing circumstances. The and instead of getting an OP skill, he drags the goddess who is offering him the skill to the other world, and she can't return until they defeat the Demon King.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I think that one's in my list already. But again,
yeah,
I have like 1,000 in my list. I just didn't. I haven't seen it yet, so it didn't.
yeah,
It didn't strike any bells.
yeah. So they also pick up two other members for their party. So one of them is like a high mage named Megumin, who only knows one skill, can only use it once per day, but it's super powerful. It's explosion magic. So if you ever hear
Oh,
explosion, that's where it's from.
oh, okay,
The other one is a crusader who's a masochist named Darkness.
okay. We, I can't hear you.
Yeah, is your mic gone or you're on mute?
Oh, you muted.
I
There
was
you
I,
go.
I well there you
There
go. I
you
was on
go.
I was on mute. But when you said masochist, I got really excited. So I'm like, tell me. It was probably good. The
That's
mic
why I was
wasn't
like,
on.
where are you? Because
It's
that
because
That's my
yeah,
shit. That's my
yeah.
shit.
I was like, where you at? So, but no, darkness. My favorite thing about this is how invested the voice actors are in the show.
Mm,
Um, it's a fantastic piece. I know it gets a little weird. If you do decide to watch it, would love to hear both your thoughts about it. Because I mean, it's one of those things that I
all
watch
right.
because yeah,
Mhm.
just some of the deliveries are fantastic.
I will
Um,
definitely watch it.
yeah,
But yeah, with the way that the genre has been going, I like that they still do have some coming out that are more in that shoujo space, like the My Next Life as a Villainess, which
yes,
is one of my favorites because
it's really good.
it's so funny. It's so funny. That one, like the we watched that one together. Do you
Yeah.
remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one is super funny. And a lot of the manhwa that's coming out is 100% firmly in that genre, in the being transported into another world.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I'm not sure which one I like the most in terms of like theming, because they all have interesting aspects. Like one of the most interesting, I think, the video game ones is probably Overlord, because it's the way that they take on the story is more interesting to me, because instead
Mm.
of, because like with sao is like, it's like the most popular thing, but it's so basic. It's real, it's just it's so basic. It's like the story is not good
Can
essentially.
we
But
can we talk about Sao Abridged though?
I would say, yeah, like everything I've seen that's like an SAO redux where they like rewrite things or make it different is
Oh.
always better than the original source material. Like
Mm.
90% of the time. And I usually don't say that about things because like I don't necessarily want people to rewrite things, but like SAO is bad enough that it does need that level of editing.
it it
And
warrants some serious rewrites.
Oh.
um but yeah, with Overlord though, it has some like, I don't want to say problematic elements, but it has some like darker elements that I wasn't a fan of, but it does explain them story wise. So that one is basically, this guy is part of an online gaming community and the server's going to shut down. So he logs in
Mm-hmm.
like as a past thing, like, hey, I want to be with my guild while the server shuts down because we're never going to be able to be together again. The end. But when the
Mm-hmm.
server shuts down, he literally becomes his character and he cannot get out of the game.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
so it like traps him in there, and it's very interesting watching his character go from, he still has a mindset that it's a game when it's real life. So a
Mm.
lot of the decisions that he's making are in terms of the world is not real, these people aren't real.
He's
Mm-hmm.
role
So
playing.
as he starts to realize more that no, these people are real and they are dying because of decisions and because of things that
Oh.
other people are doing, it's
Oof.
affecting him mentally, obviously, because he's used to
Mm.
it being a game the whole time, and then all of a sudden it's not a game anymore. It's real life, and he's this giant skeleton monster that can do magic. um so it's interesting watching the, I guess, psychological change in the main character over the course of the seasons, and the soundtrack slaps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Listen
I
to
I do
Veracity
like
if
that.
you get the chance.
Yes,
Yeah,
that one is really good.
yeah,
um I also like Cladanoia. But
yeah. That was first season, right?
yeah. I really like that one. I don't care. Um
No, no, no. This is not judgment.
yeah. But yeah, that one's a good one. Are there any you really like, Rawiyah?
Um, well, the villainous one. That was a really good one because it's also like kind of queerish and also she's a
Yes.
masochist. Um, which always like makes me happy. There was one, and I'm not sure if this one counts, but it was very much a comfort one for me.
Mhm.
And I'm trying to remember the name. You may know it, but it was like they had a little restaurant, and it opened up into like it would the doorway was in one world and the other door was in the other world.
Restaurant to
Isekai Nobu.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes. That one,
I
because there's
love that
actually
one.
two like that. It's not the Isekai Nobu is the one that I showed you though. So that one I know for sure you've seen, but there's another one called Restaurant to Another World, which
Restaurant to
is
Another World. Yeah.
really good as well. I
I'll have
like
to
that.
watch
That
that.
one is it's almost it's not as so like Isekai doesn't have any plot. It's literally just food and restaurant
Mhm.
vibes.
Very much
Restaurant
Mhm.
to
so.
Another World has kind of like character development and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So it like adds elements to the restaurant vibe, but it is ultimately just about food. So
Mhm.
any show that is ultimately about cooking food, I'm into. So that's why the campfire
So
cooking one,
good.
I'm like, yes, yes, definitely. You need to that one. It's really fun too. And I'm gonna be watching. The next on the list is the handyman stuck in another world one because I
Handyman
like these
Sanko.
like normal people doing normal people things in another world,
Mhm.
not just like, oh, I'm like OP from the beginning and I can do anything with a sword and can like all of this stuff. Oh no, another one in that vein that's really fun is, and I don't remember if I told you to watch it. I feel like I did, but it was the God, the name of it is so long. It was something like I'm just a regular guy who turns into a fantasy
Yes.
knockout. That one is so
Yeah. That one's
funny.
hilarious.
Um I swear I recommended this one to you, Zach, as well, but it's been a while. Let me
You may
find
have.
it.
I'm just sitting here going, have I heard of this? And
I
Yeah, like
feel
he dies in like I thought about it when you said, "Oh, he normally dies in an embarrassing way." And I think in this one
like
he
no,
does.
it wasn't that he died, it's that he got super duper drunk and a goddess found him and his best friend, and in his
Oh,
drunken
yeah, that's right.
stupor he says, I wish I was a cute girl so I could get attention too, and she was like, all right, bet, and like turns him into like this
That's
super
right.
cute blonde, and like they're falling in love with each other, but it's also like a BL with more steps because his friend was already in love with him. Um,
Mhm.
so at least that's what Jade called it, and that was when I was like, I have to watch this show.
Mhm.
And so it turned into a whole thing. But I'm trying to find the exact name of it because it's very it's a long
It was a long
it's a
name.
long name.
I
Uh
try to remember there was another one that I watched where the girl was playing a game and then she was getting sucked into the world. Or maybe that was the one, the hero villainous one. So never mind.
yeah,
And
because
the
that
thing
one was a
is,
game one.
it's yes. And the
Oh,
other thing is, it's such a common trope
yes.
that I've probably seen so many of them, and my brain just can't come up like
Yes.
with it because for
Accurate.
me, it's become such a norm
It
in
is it is
anime.
it is oversaturated, and if you add in all of the manhwa that are isekai, it's like thousands, just thousands of stories, and they all have a very similar, if not the same premise. It's life with an ordinary guy who reincarnated into a total fantasy knockout. That is the
Yeah,
actual name of the show.
beautiful.
But as like there was this one guy on a reel or a TikTok or something, and he was like, well, you know that when the name is that long, that whatever is in the name is absolutely going to happen in the show. There is 1,000% chance that if the name is like my dad reincarnated into another world to punch my brother in the face for being a total perv. That's going to happen. That dad is going into that other world and that brother is getting punched in the face. Though I think he made that name up, but I 1000% would watch that show.
You got to get Kakashi to voice the dad, though.
Oh my god! Inoue Sensei, please. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be magic.
Oh my god. Yeah. But I would say for me, as of the getting physically shoved into another world animes, my favorite is actually Kyokaramaho.
Oh my God.
What?
I just remembered one that was brutal.
Okay, what is it?
Here and now, then and there, or
Now and
here
then,
and there,
here
and
and
then
there.
now and
Oh.
then here's that shit was fucked. Zach, you can co-sign it. That shit was fucked. That shit was fucked. Like this kid gets ripped to another world where kids are soldiers. And
Yeah,
then he's like
it's
trying to save this girl and bring back the water on some tank girl shit. Except he wasn't tank girl. There was a lot of feelings involved. It was so fucked up. But it was beautiful, and the story was heartbreaking. And I saw it maybe about like God 10 years ago, and I was just and I stepped away. It hit me the same way Death of the Fireflies hit me.
Oh.
yeah,
Wow.
It
yeah,
was it was it was intense. It was in fucking tense. I recommend it and I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it because like you gotta be in a place like have something nice and sweet and fluffy afterwards. I
yeah,
do recommend it because like there are people who are living these lives in these kind of ways where it is that dire. It does speak on a lot of like loss of innocence and hope and all these other things that are like very powerful, and also, I think it was made either in the early 90s or the late 80s.
1999. That
99.
is
Okay, so it was
that is
made later than that, 1999.
yeah.
Like it was it it
Honestly
follows a
though,
vein.
some of the shows that were made in like the late 90s, early 2000s are fucked up.
So fucked up. So fucked up. Memory unlocked. Okay. That's my other I was like, oh, I kind of want to watch it again. What was your impression of it, Zach?
Look, I've only. I'm not the kind of person who goes out of his way. I have a killer sweet tooth, both in when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to food and when it comes to my consumption of media. So if I'm gonna do anything, I'm gonna and like I'll be honest. There are times where I'll read something and I have to physically step away and have a sleep. Like it,
Mm-hmm.
you know how you read something and it feels like it's giving you something. This kind of shit takes things from you. You
Yeah.
feel as though you feel like the hero going on a journey you can't actually go back to where you started, right? Because you
Yeah.
are a changed person. It's
Yeah.
now and then, here and there, it would be like reading. Have either of you read Oyasumi Punpun?
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Consider yourself lucky. It is the greatest. It is one of the greatest stories I will never read again because that
Ah.
shit is burned into the back of my mind.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you can't watch something like that. And I mean, I'm amazed that you would be willing to go back to it because I'd be sitting there. There's a lot there. There's a lot there.
Masochist.
It's a lot to unpack, and yeah, yeah. It's saying shit
Wow,
stop
okay. I
sums it
just
up.
looked that up. I don't think I can handle this story.
Which one did you look up now and then here and there?
I looked up that one and I looked up Oasumi Poon Poon, and that one's the one. Like now and then here and there, I'm probably gonna look it up, but like it's not on any platform at the moment, so I would have to like
Mm-mm.
buy it if I want to watch it, or do some stuff.
Swashbuckling.
Yes, some swashbuckling. But Oyasumi Punpun it's only a manga. It looks like they
Yep.
didn't make an
Mhm.
anime of it
Yep.
because why
No,
would they?
no.
Now that I'm reading
Mm-mm,
it more about the story,
mm-mm.
but like it looks dark,
It's
like
fucking dark. I read that
real
during
dark.
COVID.
Why? Why did you
Because
do that to yourself?
hey, only because look, if you've got time, right, you might as well dip into it's the same reason why I was on holiday for like 3 months and I managed to consume all of One Piece in like 3 weeks.
Well, I mean, I understand consuming massive amounts of media, but during the pandemic, I was too stressed out to consume things that were dark. So I immediately started consuming as much fluff as humanly possible.
I was
Just
watching dark shit.
marshmallows.
I was watching. That's when I discovered that I could watch horror movies. Like
Oh.
I was watching everything stressful and horrific during this onstart of the pandemic because I'm like, life sucks, but this sucks more. And
Yeah.
that's how I dealt with it. That's why I was like,
Oh.
if it's dark, if it's fucked up, I can be like, whoo, at least nobody's chasing me with a chainsaw right now or trying to suck my soul from my body
And
or
that
like,
shit got a behind the scenes.
yeah.
Oh, wait, I I did watch Fruits Baskets during that time.
The original or the remake?
The
Because you know they
remake.
revisited Fruits Basket. How was the remake?
Friend, have you not seen it?
I haven't seen the remake.
I thought that was what we were watching together when we were talking about it. Oh my god, the
No,
remake.
I was talking about the
Jesus.
original.
No. Oh, I am so mad at the ending. Like my
Oh shit! Wait,
my friend said that they were mad at the ending too, and I was like, "What? Why?" I like this part, but then like I realized what else was happening, and I was like, "Oh no, no! Why? This is so
I don't even know
bad."
where the remake is. Like I'm looking at it, all I
It's
see is
Crunchyroll.
2001.
It's on
Yeah, I'm on
Crunchyroll.
there. It says 2001. Oh, I see it.
2018. The animation, great. The soundtrack, a bop. The story, soul crushing. Even though the ending is happy, no. There are some things I do not agree with in the ending of that anime. I'm just gonna.
All right, I will rewatch it. I will rewatch it.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
what I
why
I
was
you
just
should
know
watching when
stick
that.
we
to
were
the
talking
manga.
about. I didn't know you were talking about the original. This
Yeah,
is
I
like
was
a
talking about the
boys
original.
over flowers situation again, where where I'm like, hey, I'm seeing this anime called Boys Over Flowers and it's bonkers, and you're like, oh well, I know a K drama like that, but we were talking about anime at the same time about the okay.
Yeah.
No wonder you were like, wait, what are you talking about with that? And I was like, well, have you not seen season 3 yet? And you were like, season 3, what?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think the original only has 2 seasons.
All right, I'm gonna be watching this. That's on my list. I just added it there.
But
Boop.
yeah, I like.
Added.
I don't know why. I love fluff. So I keep some fluff on deck. And actually, I was going to say, like, my favorite current being sucked into another world bodily is the Kyokara Maho, and that's
Mm-hmm.
one of my fluff ones because it's so happy, and it's like even when they're having conflict, it's not stressful at all.
Mm.
And I discovered that Kakashi's in that one too. He's Gunter. I was like, oh man. Man, I'm just gonna add this again to my list of random BL that Inoue Sensei is in. Like literally 90% of the things that I know him from are BL.
How long is that list?
Right now 3.
Okay. Okay.
3 BL that I know him from. And then there is 3 other shows outside of that. Well, 2. So, well, I guess Boruto does count as another one. God, fucking hate Boruto. I know. I'm still hate watching this show. Like, ugh, why?
Didn't
Can you
realize I
guys
was
just
hanging out with two masochists.
shut up? I refuse to admit it.
But that's part of the fun.
Yeah.
Uh,
You're
oh,
muted again,
far out.
hun. Unmute yourself.
Sorry, oopsie. There are just certain things where you're like, I have made this time allotment already. I'm going to see this through. I'm going to finish this. I know that it's painful, but I started this and I'm over halfway. And sometimes it's like being up on a treadmill. It's like, I'm going to make
Yeah.
it up this hill.
And that's where I
A
am with
change is going to
Boruto.
come.
It's like it started to get good around episode 200 and now it sucks again. And it's episode 250 and out of 293 and I'm like just get back to the fucking moon people. Is it that
I know.
difficult to just fight the fucking moon people already? I'm so
Mm.
tired. The
I'm glad you
Otsutsuki are
clarified.
there.
I'm glad
What?
you're clarified because because I thought the commander was talking about the podcast, not Boruto.
Oh no, I was talking about Boruto. Oh,
Oh, it's because every single time that we've talked about what are you watching, they've had to listen to me talk about how much I hate Boruto. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, but I'm like 200 episodes in. I'm like 220 episodes in, and I might get to see Sasuke die, so that's fun. We don't know what's going on. Well, okay, it's one of those things where, like, if there's 8 episodes about somebody's backstory, I have never seen a stronger death flag in my life. So I'm assuming that what I think is going to happen will happen.
To be fair, Ace's story came out after he died, okay? So, like, Sasuke getting his
Aces?
own story. Yeah, so for One Piece. Um,
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know anything about One Piece. Don't spoil it. Shit.
Oh, sorry. Sorry,
It's
I
okay.
had
I don't
assumed you
even
all
know
would
who
watch.
Ace is.
Okay, that's fair. Whether or not it'll all come together, all slot in if you ever decide to read it / watch it. We'd recommend reading it so that you don't get last time on One Piece. So,
I hate that
because
so much.
you will get that every single episode,
Jesus.
and they're over 1,000 episodes at this point.
Mm-hmm. Knew
Yeah.
that.
So
So I'm
yeah,
like, I'm not ready for that kind of a commitment.
yeah, exactly. Perhaps no, I wasn't. I was going to suggest another plague, but you guys are in the States. That's not a good idea, so I won't recommend that. Yeah. So no, you do. I know a lot of people sit there and go, "Oh, but it gets good after X, Y, and Z." You need to sort of sit there and allow yourself. It's like a bed. You sit in bed, you allow yourself to get comfortable with it, and you just enjoy the ride. You know.
mm.
That's what One Piece is like. It's the same with Full Metal Alchemist. It's the same with like any of those like long journey sort of pieces. So, but yeah, I know we got off topic from like the whole isekai, and I mean I
It's
got a list
still
It's
here. We
it's
got time.
still it's still on topic. I mean, this is how we do it. We talk about things as they come up and
and I'm just over here trying to find now and then here and there on YouTube so I can traumatize Dre. But like,
it's a
um,
$1.99 an episode on YouTube. I have looked it
really, I
up.
can't find it on freaking YouTube. I'm looking for it.
Google it and then it'll have like the episode list. You can like click on it from the Google.
Okay, okay, cool. Cause that shit wrecked me.
Fine, I'll buy it. Give me a second.
Oh yeah, there we go. I see it on Google and on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yay!
So it is there.
Oh my gosh. Y'all, have we exhausted the topic? Is there anything else anyone would like to say?
Well, I mean, I don't think you can ever exhaust a topic, and
Oh
when
my
it
God.
comes
Yeah,
to
no, just in
this,
this moment, like you
I
could just
just
put it away because it's wet and tired.
we wrote it hard. We're putting it
Really,
away
I feel
foamy.
I feel like we barely even scratched the surface in terms of what you can do
I
with.
mean, yes, that is true. But at the same time, when you have a genre that has literally thousands of titles on the list,
Hmm.
deciding to tackle all of it at once is very difficult, which is why I tried like when we did the BL episode, I didn't actually go into most of the BL I know. We can do that at a later episode if you want. But
My God,
it's
we should
because
just
I
build a
literally
website and drop a list.
I'm like I literally read hundreds of titles, and that's not
Hmm.
it's more talking about the concepts behind it
Uh-huh.
and
Hmm.
how we feel about the concepts with examples. So, like, if you have an example of a specific type of isekai that is unique or different that you want to talk about, yeah, let's do it. That's
Okay.
kind of what we've been doing. So, if there's one that really stands out to you that you're like, there's this one isekai that I need you guys to watch, tell us right now.
How about the progenitor of isekai? So the entire reason that those tropes exist, the truck-kun, the going to another world, the potential harem interests, and um, all of the potential fucked up stuff that you come across.
Okay.
Can we talk about Mushoku Tensei, jobless
Oh,
reincarnation?
that's on my list, actually.
It fucking should be.
One of my friends
Because
was like telling me about it. Yeah.
yeah, so there are two manga or light novels that or web novels. Fuck, because
Okay, I'm
it's an
adding that to my
adaptation of
watch list.
yeah. So there are two that roughly came out about the same time. So Mushoku Tensei or Jobless Reincarnation and ReZero. So
Mm-hmm. I've
yeah,
heard of
you'll
that one
find
too.
that there are a lot of crossover between the two stories. Every so often, so they'll like do a chapter where it's like, "Hey, this person has somehow ended up in my world," sort of thing, which is really really fascinating. Um, I have read and reread Mushoku Tensei so many times because it's something that I can't help but read. And like I know that Mushoku Tensei season 2 is supposed to be coming out soon, either end of this year or early next year, I think. Um, but basically, you've got this niche, so not employed educator or in training. So somebody stuck at home, lives with his parents, doesn't do anything, just consumes. Sort of a you start to get into the hikikomori or complete shut in kind of energy. He is kicked out by his family, and in trying to do one good thing in his life. He tried to save a girl from getting hit by a truck, dies, ends up in another world, and it feels like he's just going to go through the same cycle again until he learns that this world has magic. So
Hmm.
he's growing up, he's learning about
It starts with him
magic.
as like a baby, right? Like he's a baby with a teenager's brain, essentially.
No,
Which
he's 35 years old.
he's 35. My friend told me he
Yeah.
was 14. Why did she tell me that?
That's a
Interesting. Okay.
great question. I wish I knew. But
Yeah.
no, he's in his thirties.
He's like a full ass adult stuck in a baby's body.
Yeah. So this dude is like hella pervy and like man wants to breastfeed all the time. Like he goes into that full
Wow.
like retard. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So and it, like to the point they like his mum and dad have a maid, and she doesn't like interacting with him because he keeps looking at her like yeah, get some. You know. Um, I know that's probably not a great sell, but
It's
I
kind of
like.
not, my friend.
I
It
would
gets
prefer
better
to
though,
be.
right? It gets better.
I like how honest and it's weird to. It's refreshing to see a manga talk about confronting topics in certain scenarios, like it's also the origin of a lot of like slavery sort of things, and they talk
Mm-hmm.
about that. They cover that. They talk about the way a lot of younger girls are treated
Mm-hmm.
in that particular space. And look, I mean, it, I am not selling this well. I'm aware I'm not selling this well. Look, it's this kid or this man is utilizing this opportunity as a second chance to become a better character, despite being thrust into a world that is, for want of a better expression, harsh.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. So there's a lot of fucked up stuff in there. It's not as dark as Now and Then Here and There. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a lot that's gone into it's and I can't help but just I read and reread that. Not because it's like those topics are in like I take comfort in that, but because I find the world so fascinating and because I would like to be a part of that particular world. You know, you read some books and it's like that's that whole idea of escapism. Yeah. So
Hmm.
you want
Mm-hmm.
to actually be in that space, be a part of that world. It was the same for ReZero. They fed you like little bits where you just sort of sit there and go, "Oh, I need more of that. I need more of that." But that's oh fuck, that's the Chainsaw Man of Isekai.
Mm.
Really? I
ReZero.
ReZero. I think I got that one confused with Re-Life, which is different.
Yeah, no, real life is fluffy as fuck. What are you talking about?
That's why I was like, I don't I don't think they're the same thing.
Nope.
One of them
Mm-mm.
I had on my list as do not watch this, and the other I had on my list is definitely watch this. So I got to figure out which one is which. They both started
Okay.
with Re, and
Yeah.
then my other friend has me like he's like you got to watch all of the the Fate series. So I gotta watch all
Good
of
fucking
those.
luck.
Look, just because there's look, you know how I consume media though, so having 20 different series is not a deterrent to me at all.
No, but like the where do you start, and then there's going to be conflicting timelines. It'd be like reading Monogatari. You know,
No, I don't know what
you
that
don't know
is either.
Monogatari?
No.
Okay, no. Actually, that Monogatari might be your speed. So
Is
if
it
you've ever read
Monogatari?
Nishio, yeah. So there is. I say Monogatari as like a series, all right? Because there is like I don't know, maybe 10 of them, and it's created by one of uh,
Oh,
yeah, Nishio Isi.
I've seen Bakemonogatari.
Yeah.
So I've seen that one, and I have Ikimonogatari on my list.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
know that they are, and Nisei Monogatari is on my list as
Mm.
well.
So, real quick, if we're gonna like, I can't necessarily talk about ReZero because there's like a bit of a content warning regarding like some unpleasant uh, content, I guess,
Well,
in that respect, and
we
that's probably why there's a do not watch this.
I was gonna say we do talk about that kind of we don't really have
No,
a filter on the pod, so I'm
no,
not
I know.
sure.
They don't have a filter.
It was more just about consideration than anything else. If you're happy for me to talk about it, but I just wasn't sure if the commander would have to put a
This
warning on
is
there. If
well, I mean, we honestly put a warning on all of them anyway.
We do have a warning on all of them.
We fully understand we are not going to be monetized in this space just due to the sheer volume of fuckery we talk about constantly.
One of them I put an explicit on, and that was the one where we were talking about monster
Oh
fucking.
yeah, monster
Yeah.
fucking
But yeah,
definitely needed that
we
explicit.
are hidden from children. Like children
Okay.
cannot listen to this podcast. But I will say that I am about to turn into a pumpkin, you guys.
Oh yes, it is quite late.
I am
It is.
turning into a pumpkin.
I am so sorry. This is like
No.
we got
Ooh, don't
sidetracked.
this just means that we need to have you on again.
Yeah, obviously we had a lot of fun.
Yeah,
So
we
Excellent.
have more
Excellent.
to talk about.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
so
Excellent.
we'll definitely schedule you again. We
We'll
like
schedule for a
having
part two.
guests. This is
Hmm.
this is exciting. It's fun. But
And
yeah,
thank you for
it's
Yeah.
coming on and spending time with us.
No, thank you for having me. It's been an absolute blast. I mean, to go from watching to being a part of it, it's you have no idea how hype that is. I'll be honest, I probably won't watch this because watching myself back, yeah, I'm the same as Carter in that respect. I can't watch myself, you know. I
Okay,
well,
get.
well
that's
that's
what the
why
Spotify's for.
that's what like yeah, just listen to yourself. I found that listening to some of our podcasts has helped me fall asleep.
Oh,
Really?
nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so
I've
nice.
listened to us talking. I've had some pretty hard nights, and listening to us talking has been very comforting.
It does. It
Mm,
feels like we're hanging out again
yeah.
Mhm.
when we're listening. Because I'll do my art. I'll like just put the pod on and listen to us chat about stuff and make
Mhm.
art and be like, oh yeah, I remember that. That was nice. And laughing along with us, even though I was totally there at the time. I just remember it being, funny. It's nice. It's a good time.
Yeah.
Um,
Aw, it's all warm and fuzzies. I love it.
we we do get that way. But before we sign off, then why don't we do content promotion? So what have you got
Yeah.
going on?
Okay,
Tell us,
so
Zach.
so I run a blog called An Approximate Knowledge of Many Things. If you're familiar with Adventure Time, there's that one monster who goes, Frank the Human Boy. Um, How
What?
did you almost know my name? I have an approximate knowledge of many things. Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah. So that's where I got that from. So
Mhm.
once a month, I do like writing tips in terms of like how to get into story, how to get into characters. Um, and then I've self-published a couple of comics. I'll drop you a link so that you can put that in the because
Please
trying to
do.
actually yeah trying to say the name is a pain in the butt. But the blog itself is zakhfair.substack.com. So that's ZAKH. FAIR.substack.com. If you guys wanted to have a look, it is free for the time being because I would love to have more people on board before I start going, hey, can you uh, help me live a life of writing as opposed to working in hotels? Because
Mhm.
people are great, but people can really suck. Uh,
Mhm.
Word.
yeah,
Preach.
yeah, 100%. You do, probably that customer service facing roles, man. There's just
Mhm.
Uh, but that's about it in terms of what I've got going on. You might see some flash fiction thrown in there every now and again. I threw out a chapter of like an isekai that I'm looking to continue just for fun. But yeah, so what about yourself, Commander? What are you up to?
I just got my second round edits back for my book, so that's exciting.
Hell yeah!
Book is coming out in 2024 with Spiritbound Press, which is an imprint of Row House. And it's called Mammy is Dead. So y'all can follow me at Instagram at Mammy is Dead for more information about Mammy is Dead.
I'll go do that
And
right now.
I am also, yeah, it's just MAMMY is Dead. And what else I have going on is I'm doing a workshop on Mother's Day for called Rituals for the Children of Toxic Mothers and Exorcism for Mother's Day. So if you have any kind of feelings about like a parent who was toxic or wasn't there, come get this healing medicine and this magic. And there's free tickets available, so if you're not able to pay, we have free tickets. What else am I doing? I know I'm doing something else. My film Rise is being shown in San Francisco in June. There's also going to be a virtual showing of it. It's going to be part of a Pride kickoff event. And I also have something coming out with Queer Rebels in San Francisco, as well as some co-work ritual workshop work with Diamond Wave, which is a gender non-binary event and support group out in
Okay.
San Francisco as well. So I have some creative projects coming up, and I know there's some I forgot about because high brain doesn't remember shit. And yeah, so if you follow me at Mammy is Dead on Instagram, you'll get all of that, and probably some reels that Dre sent me. I think Carter sent me probably some wild ass reels about some boy love and demons and tentacles and book talk. Like
that, that is what I spend my late hours doing, is sending
some
you
wild
reels
shit.
on Instagram.
I feel like a hug every time you send one.
Aw. That's why I love it when you send me one too. It's so nice. Even if I've seen them, I still love them because you thought of me.
Showing you being thought about. It's
So what do
wonderful.
you
Exactly.
have going on, or what are you supporting? Because I know like you do your own art and you also support a lot of artists. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have nothing going on for myself as per usual. I am currently looking up a new microphone though, because I want one of those arm ones so I look cool next time we're talking. So it's like right here with like the buffer and stuff
that's
because I want to sound
wonderful.
nice. So I'm looking that up for this. Other than that, let me see if I got any Kickstarters going right now because I have a problem with Kickstarter and you need to be part of that too. There
Hmm.
is the only current one I have that is actually active is Orc Covenant, which is a gay bara visual novel sim.
Oh God,
And
of course.
it is a story where you are an elf who finds an orc daddy. Um, I see you have looked it up.
You know me. What is with this one orc with this blonde hair with this one look?
He's half elf, that's why.
Oh, what's going on?
Oh my god. Let me see what I'm backing
Can
this
only
at.
imagine the internal conflict he's having.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Oh my God.
that's what the story's about. So he's having an internal conflict.
My elf side says to protect the forest, but my orc side says to smash.
Yeah.
And my backside says this smash too. How many does one being need? Is this like a? Has he got like a 10 pack or an 8 pack? Okay.
She gonna count them 1, 2.
Yeah. Kinda. Yeah.
You're right. You need 5
Yeah.
minutes.
My face hurts.
That
Okay.
yeah. Yeah. So I need this to like a lot of times, even if I'm not gonna like immediately play something, if I see something on Kickstarter, I'm like, I need this to exist in the world, I will just throw money at it. Even if I'm just gonna let it sit here for like hours. I'm like days. I have Kickstarters from years ago that I have not opened that I spent lots of money on because they needed to exist in this world. And this
Bish,
is one
there's a
of
demo
those.
on Steam.
There is, yes. There is a
Oh,
demo on Steam.
click.
Click.
Oh.
that's the only active one I have. The others are all achieved. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just this one. But if it goes to backer kit, like I think it will, and it allows me to add another copy, I'll do that and send it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that you'll play this with me. Like the other one, the touch starved one with the demon
Oh my
fighting.
gosh.
Yeah, that one we're definitely gonna play together and talk about.
Oh my god. Okay. Ugh. I'm getting this free demo.
Let us know how it goes, yeah?
Yeah. Obviously.
Oh my god.
It's part of the process. This is just how we work.
No,
This is who we are as people.
This is
Okay.
how we do.
Anything that you want to leave the people with? And we're going to start with you, Carter, to give Zakh a little space to think about that. But anything you want to leave the people with after this episode?
Yes, I want to leave the people with the understanding that there are many other worlds and it's okay to explore them both in your imagination, in your dreams, and in your other lives. So don't try to pin yourself down to this one rock. It's not the only one
Mm-hmm.
out there.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Zakh?
if I could expound on Carter's thought there, um, go run with it, make trouble. Just in
Mm,
terms of like taking an idea or a desire, running with it, and seeing what trouble you can make, whether it be creatively, whether it be searching your past lives, other dimensions, all that smooth jazz. Just have a go. But yeah,
mm.
that'd be it from me.
I think for me, it would be we get to fuck up,
Hmm.
and we get to fuck up because there's so many other opportunities for us to learn. Like we go through the same cycles in this life, just like we would go into a cycle into another life, just like our soul goes through cycles. So it's okay to fuck up. It's okay to be confused. It's okay to be scared. Like it's okay, because, or it's okay to be like, I'm just going to step back and give this a moment. It's okay to miss opportunity because we are in this very like cycle infinity situation with the universe, and within our own spirit selves. Like shit will rotate back. Like if it's for you, if it needs to happen to you, if it needs to happen because of you or with you, like it's gonna happen. So my thing is like it's okay to fuck up, chill, relax, release a sphincter, and
I want that
and
on a
let life
t-shirt.
Yeah.
That's t-shirt worthy. Release the sphincter.
release the
Release. That
sphincter.
sounds like release the Kraken, though. You don't need to
That
release the
does.
Yeah,
sphincter
that's
like
a
the Kraken.
It is. It's there in the
less
Kraken.
tentacles.
No
More
more
tentacles.
tentacles.
I
And
don't know what
on
y'all fit up there.
that
That's none of my
note,
business. I don't want to know.
Flexi. And on that note, this has been Witchy Shit and Mangalit with Cartabus and Rawiyah and our special guest Zakh. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will be back here next week. Bye.